Hi friends, good morning to all. My name is D. Suman. I am from TTWREIS COE Boys, Karimnagar. Today, my topic is about the structure of flower. Friends, all of us know about the flower. What is meant by flower and what are the parts consist in a flower? Let us know. Friends, plants are classified into two types in our plant kingdom. They are non-flowering plants and flowering plants. Flowering plants are divided into two types. They are gymnosperms and angiosperms. What is meant by gymnosperms and what is meant by angiosperms? Let us see. Gymno means naked, sperms means seeds. In gymnospermic plants, the seed coat is absent. That is known as gymnosperms. But in angiosperms, angio means the seed coat and the sperms means seed. In angiospermic plants, the seed coat is present. That is called as angiosperms. Let us see that angiosperms are classified into these two types. In that, let us see about the flowers, what is meant by flower and what are the parts consist of flower. All of us know about the flower in general, but we don't know what are the parts in that and how you are using. So let us see that angiosperms are characterized by the presence of flowers. Flowers are the reproductive unit in the angiosperm. That means for sexual reproduction. That means the angiosperms are participated in the sexual reproduction. From the flower, we can produce fruits by the fertilization process. The flower undergoes the fertilization process and produce the fruits. The flowers are objects of aesthetic, ornamental, social, religious and cultural values. We know that cultural values is nothing but we are using the flowers in different ways for preparing the garlands and for offering the flowers to the gods. In this way, we are using the flowers in the cultural values. Let us see that flowers are morphological and embryological sites and the sites of the sexual reproduction in angiosperms. I already said that they are participated in the sexual reproduction, and a typical flower possesses as a long or short stalk is known as pedicel. Friend, see this. This is called an pedicel. You are seeing this. This is a long in sunflower. This is long in sunflowers and short in sunflowers. This is called as pedicel. And in some flowers, the pedicel is absent. The flowers are known as sessile flowers. Example for the sessile flowers is the rice and the acheronthus. Friends, let us see here. See the swollen part of the pedicel. At the end of the pedicel, this is an pedicel. At the end of the pedicel, the swollen end is present. That is known as thalamus. On the thalamus, the four whorls of the flower are present. What are the four whorls? The whorls is nothing but the parts. Let us see what are the four whorls of a flower. A typical angiospermic flower consists of four whorls of floral appendages attached on the receptacle. What is meant by receptacle? I said that this is the receptacle or also called as thalamus. Here the four whorls are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Let us see that this is a flower. All of us know this is a rose flower. Here this whorl is known as, this is the green leaf like structure is known as calyx, and these are colored is known as petals, and in some flowers like this is the stamen and the ovary and contains the, this is the ovary and contains the stamens, and the stamens is nothing but the androecium and the ovary is nothing but the gynoecium. Let us see about the deep. Here the calyx and corolla are the accessory or non-essential organs because they are not participated in the sexual reproduction, but androecium and gynoecium are the sexual organs or reproductive organs because they are participated in the sexual reproduction. Let us see that the calyx, first part of the flower is the calyx. See friends, this is a calyx. See friends, this is a calyx. You know that calyx, what is meant by calyx? I said the outermost whorl of the flower has green leafy structure. See, this is a leaf like structure, green in color. The green leafy structures and is called as calyx. The members, each member, this is a member, this is a member and this is the member. Each member is known as sepals, and it protects the flower in the bud stage. Let us see an example of the bud. It is an datura flower. It is enclosed with a calyx. The green part of the flower is the calyx. It is enclosed in the bud stage. It is a bud condition and it protects the remaining 3 whorls in the bud stage. Let us see that the calyx may be gamosepalous. Gamosepalous means sepals are united. See, it is an datura flower. The sepals, that means the corolla and the sepals also united. Sepals means, see here, this is the sepals and these are fused. Are you seeing here these are closed or fused? Means gamosepalous is nothing but sepals are united or fused. Here we are seeing in datura flower these are fused. Next, the polysepalous. Polysepalous means nothing but the sepals are free. Let us take in an rose. This is the sepals. So we are observing this. These are free, not fused. So these are called as polysepalous. Polysepalous means sepals are fused. Example, rose. The second whorl is the corolla. Friends, we are seeing here this is an corolla. This is an corolla. The second whorl is composed of petals. Here, this is one petal and this is one petal. These all petals are composed to form a corolla. Corolla is usually brightly colored to attract the insects for pollination. Yes or no, friends? These are in colors. So by looking at these colors, we are attract to the flower. Many of us attract to the flowers because it is brightly colored and looks attractive. Like that, insects also attract to the flowers and this causes pollination. Friends, what is meant by pollination? Pollination nothing but transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. Let us take, this is a flower and this is a stigma. This has the stamens and the pollen grains transfer from the stamens to the ovary, this stigma, and here the pollen grains are attached. Due to the stigma is the receptive surface for the pollen grains and it is gummy like structure. So pollen grains are attached here and causes the pollination. Corolla may be also gamosepalous like the gamosepalous and gamopetalous, and the corolla may be also gamopetalous or polypetalous. Gamopetalous means petals are fused. See here, datura. Are you observing any gaps in between the petals? No, because these are gamopetalous, means these are fused. And polypetalous is nothing but petals are free in rose. We are seeing this. This is one petal and this is one petal. The individual petal, that means the space is present in between the petals and these petals are free. Yes or no? Yes. So this is called as polypetalous. Polypetalous is nothing but petals are fused. The third part of the androecium, that is flower androecium. Third part contains the androecium. Okay, flower. Friends, these are the androecium. This is the androecium. Androecium contains the male reproductive structure. It is the male reproductive structure. Yes or no? Yes. Male reproductive structure. The androecium has stamen. These are one individual unit is called as stamen and group of stamens is called as androecium. The androecium contains the stamens with anthers. It is an anther. This is an anther. It contains an microsporangium. Microsporangium produces pollen grains. It undergoes in the microsporangium, microspore mother cells are present and it undergoes meiotic division and two mitotic divisions and produces pollen grains. These pollen grains are helpful for the pollination. Next, a typical stamen. Let us see in datura flower. It is an stamen. This is a stamen and each stamen consists of two parts. Here, look here, this is an, are you observing here? Okay, this is an anther and this is an filament. This total is called as stamen. A stamen consists of anther and filament. Let us see about the anther and filament discussed in the deep. Anther is a terminal bilobe structure. Here it is an anther. It has two lobes. What is meant by two lobes? It divided into two parts. It has two lobes and each lobe is divided into two thecas. these are two lobes and each lobe divided into two thecas, and each theca consists of 2 microsporangium. That means two lobes contains 4 microsporangium. Microsporangium produces pollen grains. Yes or not? Yes. Next the part is the filament. This is an filament. Filament is a long and slender. It is slender or not? See, it is bending it is flexible. So filament is long and slender stalk. It is proximal and remains attached to the thalamus or the petal of the flower. See, this is an swollen end of the flower. It is called a thalamus. Yes or no? Yes. It attached to the thalamus or petal of the flower. This is a petals and attached to the flower. If it attached to the petal of the flower, that condition is known as epipetalous. Epipetalous is seen in the dhatura, and in such examples are seen here. Next, we are moved to the next part is the gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female reproductive structure of a flower. See friends, it is an gynoecium. That means individual unit of the gynoecium is called as carpel. The innermost, it is an innermost whorl. Yes or no? It is an innermost whorl of a flower. It is the female reproductive structure. The carpel is the individual unit of the gynoecium. It is an carpel and the individual unit combines to form the gynoecium. The carpel is the individual unit of the gynoecium and has a stigma. It is an stigma and style, and beneath this it is an ovary. It contains the ovary. It is an ovary. That means let us see that I said that stigma, style, ovary, and what are they and what are the uses. Let us see that stigma. Are you observing here this stigma? Stigma is this, and this is the style, and this is the ovary. Ovary is nothing but the enlarged basal part. Enlarged means it is somewhat enlarged than the remaining organs, and the basal enlarged part, it is at the base of the carpel. So the basal enlarged part is known as ovary, and it continues with an elongated tube. See, this is an elongated tube. It is an elongated tube that is known as style, and the style ends with the stigma. It is an stigma. The stigma is a gummy like structure because it releases some enzymes which are gum like structure, and it is useful for the pollen grains. Here on the stigma, the pollen grains are received on the stigma and attached here. The pollen grains are germinate and produces pollen tube, and the pollen tube enters into the ovary and it releases male gametes and fertilization takes place in the ovary and produces a fruits. Yes or no? Yes. Here calyx and corolla are the accessory organs or non-essential organs. I said that, but you may raise a question. What is that? If all flowers contains calyx and corolla separately? No. In some lily flowers or orchidaceae flowers, see here, only white color petals are observed. There is no calyx. Here down is the green color. So these calyx and corolla are fused to form a perianth. This is called as perianth, this situation. Petals and calyx are both are fused to form the perianth. This is known as perianth, and the stamens are attached to the perianth. This condition is known as epiphyllus. Have you heard the word epiphyllus? When the stamens, these are the stamens, male reproductive organ, when these are attached to the perianth, see here, it is attached to the perianth, then this condition is known as epiphyllus. Next, friends, a flower may have one carpel or more than one carpel. See here, this is a flower. This contains the only one carpel. Carpel is nothing but the female reproductive organ. This flower contains only one carpel. So some flowers may have the two carpels or more carpels. So like that we have a flower. If carpels are fused, means it is known as syncarpus, such as in tomato and brinjal. If carpels are fused, it is known as syncarpus. If carpels are free, it is known as apocarpus. What is meant by fused and what is meant by apocarpus? You may raise a question. That is nothing but, syncarpus is nothing but, take two female carpels, that is female reproductive organs, and you see that these are, if they are attached to each other, then that condition is known as syncarpus. We may see in the tomato. If you cut the fruit of a tomato, then you may observe the lobules inside the tomato. So that is nothing but the ovary is the fused in the tomato. So that is called as syncarpus. Apocarpus nothing but those are free, separated. They are not attached, such as in you may take as hibiscus or other flowers. They are not fused. That is called as apocarpus. Friends, look at this flower. This flower has all the four orals, the calyx, corolla, this is andrecium and gynoecium. It has many carpels. See here, these have many carpels. This is known nothing but they are fused or not fused, fused. That is nothing but the syncarpus. If all four orals are present in a flower, it is described as a complete flower. It is complete or not? Yes, complete. Because all four orals are present in this. The calyx is present, corolla is present, andrecium is present, and the gynoecium is also present. So it is considered as complete flower. The examples for complete flower: hibiscus, rose, etc. Next friend, if any one of the four oral is missed in a flower, it is considered as incomplete flower. Let us see that this is a flower and it has these are the petals which are free. That means these are gamopetalous, and it has the calyx and corolla, and there is no andrecium, gynoecium. So it is considered as an incomplete flower. You may see also in the gourd plants. Gourd plants is nothing but bitter gourd and the remaining bottle gourd, bitter gourd, etc. And in the sweet corns, you may observe in the sweet corns. These are the incomplete flowers because they are not having the four orals. If any one oral is absent in a flower, that is considered as incomplete flower. Friend, if both take this flower has both male and female flowers, but in some flowers male and female reproductive organs are separated. Yes or no? Yes. They are separated, and a plant, if a plant containing both male and female flowers, then the species is known as monoecious. Example, pea and corn. Do you know corn? Yes. In corn, we see that the male and female flowers are separated. Individual flowers are present in the corn. That is known as monoecious. And what is meant by dioecious? Dioecious is nothing but if a plant, single plant contains both male and female flowers born on the separate plants. That means one plant containing male flowers and another plant containing female flowers. The separate flowers are present on separate plants. That is known as dioecious. And the example for the dioecious is the papaya and cannabis. Do you know the papaya? Yes. Papaya contains female and male flowers on the separate plants. That's why we see the fruits are seen on the male plant but absent on the male plant. Female plants bears the fruits and male plants are not bearing the fruits. That is called as dioecious plants. And friends, let us move to the symmetry. Symmetry is nothing but take a flower and cut it into two equal halves in any radial plane. What is meant by radial? See here, the cross cutting like this and like this. Cross cutting is known as the radial cutting. Some flowers can be divided into two equal parts by any radial plane. This is called an vertical plane and this is called an horizontal plane. This is called an radial plane. Yes or no? Yes. If a flower can be divided into two equal halves, by any radial plane passing through the central axis. What is meant by central axis? See here, this is an flower containing, here is the center is the present. The radial line should pass through the center. That is known as a central axis. If a flower can be divided into two equal halves by any radial plane passing through the central axis, that is known as actinomorphic or radial symmetry. Here we know that symmetry is nothing but made up of two equally exact similar halves can be divided. That is known as symmetry, and the symmetry is two types of actinomorphic or zygomorphic. Actinomorphic is also known as radial symmetry. Zygomorphic is also known as bilateral symmetry. Now we have seen the radial symmetry, and the example for the radial symmetry is nothing but chain arrows. What is meant by chain arrows? This is hibiscus is nothing but chain arrow. If you cut the hibiscus flower in any radial plane, it is divided into two equal halves. This is known as, what is this? This is known as actinomorphic or radial symmetry. Now let us take as rose flower. When a flower can be divided into two equal halves by any vertical plane, only one vertical plane, you should cut the flower into two equal parts by drawing a line in the middle. It is called as radial symmetry. The flower can be divided into two equal parts by one vertical plane is known as zygomorphic or bilateral symmetry. What is meant by bi? Bi means two. The two parts can be divided by vertical. This is an vertical line. Two parts can be divided by drawing a vertical line. That is known as bilateral symmetry or zygomorphic symmetry. Friends, let us see about the positions of these four whorls in a flower. Here we are observing the four whorls. These are nothing but based on the position of the four whorls, that is calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Based on the position of the floral appendages, these are the floral appendages, the flowers are divided into three types. What are they? Perigynous, epigynous, hypogynous. Let us see one by one. What is meant by hypogynous? Hypogynous nothing but the ovary occupies the highest position and the remaining three whorls are placed below the ovary on the thalamus. That is known as hypogynous. Example, China rose. And the perigynous is nothing but the ovary and the remaining three whorls are placed at the vertical line. That means at the horizontal line at the same position. These are considered as perigynous. In this, the ovary is of inferior or superior, but in hypogynous the ovary is superior ovary. Yes or no? Superior means above placed, superior ovary. The third part is the epigynous. Epigynous nothing but the ovary is placed below the remaining three whorls and it is fused with the thalamus. That is known as epigynous. We see the epigynous flowers in the guava and cucumber and sunflowers. Let us see the symbols of this. What is meant by corolla? It is an corolla. Corolla is indicated with the K and the calyx is indicated with the K and corolla is indicated with the C, and androecium, the male reproductive organ, indicated with A, and gynoecium, the female reproductive organ, indicated with G. Bracteolate or eubracteolate and bracted, eubracted nothing but, friends, the flower possesses a small leafy like structure at the end of the pedicel. At the axis is known as bracted, and flowers which bears bracts is known as bracteolates, and the flowers which does not contain bracts is known as eubracteolate. And these are symbol Br and Ebr, and bracteolate is nothing but a leafy like structure present at the base of the thalamus. You know what is meant by thalamus? Yes, this is and thalamus. The swollen end of the pedicel is known as thalamus. At the base of the thalamus, some flowers contains leafy like structures is known as bracteolate, and the flowers in which the leafy-like structure is absent, that is called as ebracteolate. These are the BRL and EBR are the symbols. And I said that these are the symmetry, actinomorphic, zygomorphic. Actinomorphic can be indicated with plus symbol and zygomorphic indicated with the percentage symbol. Friends, this is my topic today, and this is the conclusion about the flower. I think you may learn some of it about the flower, and I thank the Telangana government and our secretary sir and the Gurukulam society, and I thank the TSAT channel and my mentor teacher, my principal, for giving this wonderful opportunity to present my representation before you. Thank you.